back with another episode of Expandable, and this one is near and dear to my heart because it's really more geared towards the marketing, but it is a mentality. I think it's a mindset about how you operate your company, or at least I think it should be, and that is nurturing your buyers. Now, right off the bat, might not sound that sexy, but it is what I've seen in my clients' businesses and my business. If you stay close to your buyers and you nurture those relationships, you increase lots of business metrics. Your retention goes way up. Your churn goes way down, right? Your time to new sale goes way up because you're getting more referrals because people love what you're doing because you're so intentional about those relationships. So I'm just saying all that on the front end to say, this is something that you really should pay attention to if you have a small marketing team or a sales team, business development team, whatever.
I would say that all sounds great. What do you mean? How do you start nurturing your customers and clients?
Well, the first thing you do, and this is something I picked up from a colleague of mine, is proximity to buyer. And basically it is whoever's close, the theory is whoever's closest to the buyer wins. And I really love that concept because it sticks in your mind that, well, how do you stay close to your buyer? Well, there's a lot of marketing things you can do to communicate your message and revise and optimize and, kind of clearly state what it is, how you can help them, and add value along the way. But it's also knowing the industry that you're in, knowing the business that they're in. As a bank, you're banking lots of different industries. You're banking lots of different businesses. You can have groups of them, but knowing their businesses and what matters to them versus what matters to you first is the most important thing. So staying close to your buyer, from a marketing standpoint, I just want to bring up this one example because we had a minor success recently with it is email. It's as simple as constantly sending them emails because everybody gets an email. Everybody's still in their email inbox because AI hadn't changed that yet.
No.
And when they open it, as long as it's not about you and it's not about something they don't care about, if it's valuable, they're going to continue to open it. They're going to continue to read it. They're going to continue to engage with it, which is relationship forming and building over time. And recently we had success where we've been doing this. We've been sending out emails on a pretty regular basis to a sector of your customer base and staying close to them, right? And they responded. And
I believe, too, in keeping the frequency not too much.
Mm-hmm. Keeping it personal, right? Personable. Yeah. So if you don't want to get an email every
don't
single
send something
day,
just to send it, yes.
Then they probably don't either.
What happened to me recently is, here I I don't go to a gym. I work out from home, but when I'm traveling, I'll just drop in at a gym somewhere. Mm-hmm. And so do a day pass. Yeah. So last week I got text notifications every single day to sign up, 3. And then when a report is junk, so it wouldn't come to that number, lo and behold, I just got another one in.
Oh my gosh.
I tell you what, I would never sign up for that chain. I mean, it was just on and on and on.
Gyms are notorious for that too. They're just brutal. But that's to my next point is don't always go to them when you need something. Don't always go to your buyers or prospects when you want a sale because they're going to know because we're all human beings. You don't like that. They probably don't like it either. So that's why nurturing is the action, the behavior that you have to do genuinely over time and care.
And I've had the mistake of over the years, not calling a customer where I didn't have anything to sell. I just figured, call, see how they're doing.
Right.
But then I was like, do they really want to hear from me? They're going to think I'm selling something.
Well, see, that goes back to mindset.
Yeah.
You have the right mindset.
And so,
you don't want to bother them.
Exactly. Yeah. And so I'm like, why do they want to talk to me? If they need something, call me. But then the other, hey, how you doing? And so then figuring out which ones accept text. Hey, how's everything? Did you have a good 4th of July? Or because genuinely mean that. I like the person, but also too, I got to expect their boundaries because I don't want 100 texts from, how are you doing today, from all 100 of friends. Mm-hmm. Once in a while is great.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Just let them know you are, make them aware, right? And then be a human, right? Think in human terms. People don't like certain things. You don't like them, so don't do them.
Yes.
Right. And I think email is a good example of that, because email is so powerful, as we've seen. It can also be so bad. It's all about how you utilize the tool, whatever marketing tool.
Well, email's kind of gone the same way for direct mail. Direct mail still has its place.
It can have its place.
People that overdid it.
Or still overdo it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in certain industries, direct mail has always worked and it's still working. So, but they will still overdo it. You see that with car dealers too. It's like, how many decades have we been doing this same gimmick where you send something in the mail that has a little thing attached? I mean, it must be working.
I got one customer in that industry, and his stuff is spot on. I mean, actually great for both the car dealership and the individual. And I notice now when I get cards in the mail, I'll know which one is his, because it actually is one that I would do.
But what he's doing, though, because I know you're talking about, what he's doing is very strategic, and it adds value to the buyer.
Correct.
It's not about, let me sell you something because I need something. There's a time and place we've identified that this could add value to your world, and hopefully the timing's right.
Yeah.
But it's not just a constant, let me sell you a car.
Correct.
Which is not good.
No, what was it? When I got home yesterday, on the counter was the one where it's like, you may have won, and I had a little electronic coder. What's your number? And that 50,000 you can win. You have, oh my God, I tell my 11-year-old, you didn't win $50,000. Throw that thing in the trash now.
Exactly. Yeah, I had the same conversation with my 11-year-old. So that was the second point. Don't just talk to them when you need a sale.
Yeah,
add value.
Like that a lot. Yeah,
add value.
I think too, and do that during, sometimes you may not necessarily downtime your business, but you've got new prospects. You don't want to overextend yourself, and you've got some time. That's a good time to then you spend the hour or two of reaching out.
That's right. Yeah, but it's also listening, right? This is like, all these things apply in real relationships.
Yeah.
Care about someone, think about them, be genuine, listen, respond, not based on what you need, but based on what would help them. That's going to be a pretty healthy relationship. Same thing, it goes for business. It's funny because people are still people. And when you approach it that way, the nurturing part that we're talking about really works out for you. And it takes time, because all it is in a lot of companies, both B2C and B2B, is timing. Is timing right for someone to buy what you need? Well, there's a really small percentage, usually 1% to 3% of the market that's always ready. The timing's right. And the rest of them, the 98%, the timing's not right. There's a small, maybe a little bit bigger percentage you could influence the timing with some kind of incentive or
that's
whatever.
The thing with, bank accounts or, our commercial accounts is our bread and butter, but you got to think, you're asking somebody to spend time setting up a new account and diverting their recurring transactions over. They look at that, oh God, I don't want to go through that time. Yeah. So even though you may have a savings, they're looking at their time. So it's, hit him at that one time that, okay, now I've got the time to do this. And it just happened that your email hit at the right time, or.
So practically speaking, if you're a very, very small company, you're the owner, you're wearing a lot of hats, spend a little bit of time every day, half an hour, whatever, get yourself a simple CRM to organize everything, and spend some time outreach to new prospects, obviously, but listening to current customers, listening to those prospects that are on the fence. If you're a little bit bigger and you have a team, then task your marketer or your business development person, salesperson, to do this. While you're out in the field, whether it's on the phone or physically out in the field, gather these points of feedback.
One thing I will add to that, and because I'm about to put in, I hate the term relationship manager, but I get that you'll have an individual that, go in the scale that keeps in touch with people. They're not selling anything, they're just managing a relationship. But the one thing I've seen at the same time, make sure your staff, that is continuing the ongoing operations, that may be consistently talking to the customer, but making sure whatever transactions fly through, whether it's that they know at the same time you're reaching out. Because what I've seen over the years and what happens to me is you have a relationship manager come out, oh, I know someone, and the left and right hand don't know what it's talking about. Yeah.
So recording,
is your big, just let them know, hey, I'm, if you've got operational type staff that is always dealing with the customers, or they're always getting the product fulfillment on time, they're the ones doing it. Let them know that, hey, we're reaching out to the following people just to say hi over the next. So if you hear back from them and said, I spoke to, so-and-so, that company may not even know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
So.
Well, for those frontline people who are dealing with customers every day, pattern recognition is the thing. You know, looking for patterns that may be off or may be on, that turn you on to new things to serve better, turn the customer off for how you can improve their experience. And there's ways that you can essentially give a framework, 3 or 4 different points for your frontline to be thinking about while they're dealing with those customers to aid them in pattern recognition. Because not everybody's going to be naturally inclined to recognize patterns. Some people are, some people aren't. But that's the point of improvement is whenever you're dealing with customers, the same type of customers all the time, whether it's a large volume or even a small amount, you're going to notice the things that they care about, the things that they're concerned about, and the idiosyncrasies, the nuances of, like in banking, my debit card did this or didn't do that. Okay, well, that should be a red flag. Have I seen that other places?
Yeah.
Right? And now I have to resolve that. And no, I haven't. It's really only happens 1 every 1,000. So, okay, it's not enough to really pay attention to. But I see this happen every couple of weeks. Maybe this is something I should send up line or
I envision we're not there yet, but over time that we have, I guess, lack of better words, kind of a ticketing system. Mm-hmm. So anytime there is a question or a thought, if we're able to list that in, and then every time we say, okay, what was the header? Boom. Debit cards. Okay. What are issued debit cards? Is it a provider? Is it this? Yeah. And narrow down just to narrow down the questions. And if there's frequent ones of, I don't know how to do this in online banking. Well, then if you've got that more than once, then that's the one that you need to have included in your frequently asked questions.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I think at some point, I don't know, but in the next year or two, we'll probably, somehow get a good ticketing system. Mm-hmm. So we know every call and then could manage it better. It takes more time up front as you're doing that, but I think over time that very well could enhance.
Yes, for sure. One more thing to say about nurturing is if you think about this and have this mindset on the front end before your audience of buyers become customers, then they're going to be used to that pattern or your behavior of serving them in that way and always adding value to the conversation. So then when they become a customer, they're excited because they think, well, this is only going to get better. Yeah. So as long as you continue that over to the customer side and you continue to stay in front of them and you continue to ask and, want to know how you can add more value in the ways that we've described, you're going to have continuity then for them to sort of understand what it's like to be a customer before they become a customer. And then once they do, their retention rate is going to be really high because the total experience was before they became a customer. It wasn't just becoming a customer. Yeah. So, the path to sustainability is in nurture, I think, because when you're doing that on the front end, your pipeline stays full because of referrals and relationships and, indirect to buyer or whatever. And on the back end, it stays full. Yeah. That churn is lower. So I think it starts with the leadership in injecting that mindset to say, we are going to stay close to our customer, understand their needs, and build around their needs. And this is all scale. Yeah. This is small companies.
And what I like in our world, in banking world, that's a fraud reduction too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now you're really getting creative with a solution that's for growth in a different way. But you're getting, you're seeing. I love that too, because like every time we talk about something, I'm looking forward and you're looking to the rear to say, well, this is going to cover our backside while we're improving, which I think is awesome.
Because you have to build costs. I mean, banking and healthcare, those are, to me, the two most regulated industries there are. Mm-hmm. So to me, I'm combining customer service and fraud detection in one.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because you're in a highly regulated industry. So you have to think in those terms. A lot of the companies that are watching this aren't.
No.
So they are free to just think in terms of growth and very little on the mitigation side. It's really more lawsuits and, breaking the rules.
We're thinking of like, I just want 100 million customers. We're thinking,
yeah,
okay, well, if you throw out a teaser rate and you make a 1 minute application open account online, you may get those 100,000 customers, but
but then you just open up the back door.
99,000 of them are all fraudulent.
That's right. And you're starting to see that happen now.
And now you're beholden, because the consumers, you're beholden to all the regulations that benefit consumers.
Mm-hmm.
But as a bank, you are then screwed with fraud.
Yes.
And you may know it's fraud, but you can't do anything because you have consumer regs that you have to follow. So,
yes, for sure.
Yep.
Well, if whoever you are in the organization listening to this, send this around your organization so that everyone can see and be more aware. Bring it back to top of mind. Like, nurturing is an important thing.
Yes.
And
then too, don't look at nurture and then say, for us, it benefits on compliance and fraud detection. Nurturing your customer, not only going to be a benefit of retention, but I'm sure there's other ways in your business that will provide additional value to you. It may save you time by doing the nurture. And so you can kill, a couple birds, one stone.
That's right. Great. All right. Moving on to the next one.
Let's do it.